Okay, so we are in the middle of talking about the fifth principle of complete bitachon, which is to understand. Um, so far, Chovos Love is saying that you have to understand how things happen in this world. That Hashem has a decree, and then there's cause and effect, um, which brings about what Hashem actually desired. Um, and so, because he says that after Hashem created the world, things no longer come directly from Hashem's decree. Rather, his decree triggered a series of cause and effects, which eventually culminates in the result he desires. That's how the world operates. And so he started giving this example of somebody wants to remove water from a well. That is the desired result, to remove water from the well. How is the water actually removed from the well? So first there are buckets that bring up the water, and then there's the person who harnesses the animal to the wheel, and then he causes the animal to move. And then eventually that brings the water from the well to the surface, right? There are all these actions, and then there's the desired result. But the causes that are between the person and the buckets, those are all the intermediaries, which is the animal, the wheels, and the rope. And if something goes wrong with any one of those causes, then the objective, the result, is not going to be achieved. You're not going to get the water. So too, we said that's true about our man and what happens with our results, that there's a decree of Hashem, there was the desired result, which is the decree of Hashem, which is going to happen, right? And then there's the causes that actually cause it to happen. So they point out here that even though Hashem could certainly cause things to occur without any intermediate causes when he created the world, he no longer operates this way. Everything happens through a series of cause and effects. It's important to recognize and understand this. He'll speak about later why he operates this way, but so far it's just the what, not the why. This is how Hashem operates. He gives examples from Tanakh, from Yomi Melachim, that to show that Hashem orchestrates causes for the results he desires. He gives an example of Rechavam when he split up the Malchus, but fine. Then he says, so. Let's just read this paragraph today. Now, when we examine whether it's necessary for man to exert himself to accomplish his objective, we see you clearly do need to toil. You need to spend effort in order to get results. When someone wants to be nourished, when food is placed in front of him, if he doesn't actually place the effort to open his mouth, chew the food. Lo yishav ravono, he's still going to be hungry, right? So to someone who's thirsty, even if water is placed in front of him, the person needs to actually drink the water, otherwise he's still going to be thirsty. It's talking no for sure, all the more so if the food needs to be prepared by grinding, kneading, baking. So talking no, and even more effort would need to take place if he needed to first buy the raw food and then prepare it, and even more if he doesn't have money, right? V'yitzarach legago lisbov gadol mima shezachar nukodem and and even more if he needs to hire himself to obtain money to actually purchase the raw material, or if he needs to actually sell items. So we see that those are all steps that would be required of a person, right? There's the desired result, which Hashem wants, but Hashem only accomplishes the result is only accomplished by person taking the steps. They write here, in all cases, therefore, man must invest effort, sometimes more and sometimes less, in order to attain the objective of being nourished and surviving. All these steps are causes that bring about the effect of man's nourishment and are cogs in Hashem's system of supplying man with his needs. Hashem requires man to take these steps himself, but ultimately they are just a means of bringing about the fulfillment of his decree for each man to receive his preordained income. That is how the world operates. Let's stop there. Next week, big question, why man must work for his livelihood. So we'll talk about that next week.